Hi, hello. I am now live. We have figured out the slight streaming problem with YouTube streaming. So we are now streaming on YouTube. We're streaming here. I've got captions according to my side of things. Hopefully, captions are happening on the Twitch side of things. And YouTube captions are just automatic, which, in case you're wondering why there's a slight delay between the two of them, that's because that's what Google wants in order to actually give you a captioning. They require you to have a little bit longer latency. So there you go. So we are here today because basically we are doing another video gaming stream. Basically, just yesterday, if you missed it, Mike did an excellent stream, basically on Quest for the Frozen Flame. Basically, his continuing series on him planning out an ongoing campaign for the Pathfinder 2 Adventure Path Quest for the Frozen Flame. So if you missed that, check out our YouTube channel. It is available and live on there, and you can watch it there. So in here today, we're going to be doing one more video game stream, which is going to be awesome. Thank you, 20. Is going to be because basically we saw the opportunity and we had to take it. We're going to go ahead and do basically PowerWash Simulator has crossed over into our wheelhouse, and has released a 40K expansion pack. Which, I mean, they were technically almost there with a JRPG expansion pack. So let me actually switch into the game capture. Maybe. Let me switch to this black screen. So, yep, there we go. PowerWash caught up. All right. I'm going to unmute the game audio. It's already unmuted. We'll leave the pretzel background music going, as it is going to be basically what we have for background music. If it's too loud or too quiet, let me know. And I'm going to unmute Discord. Hello, Discord.
Hi.
You're basically streaming with me today. Basically, this time we're subbing out the Michael for another streamer. We're going with Tony Troxel this time. Man, normally behind the curtain. This time we're throwing him in front of the curtain because the curtains are dirty.
Twice in almost a month's time between this and Star Trek Adventures.
Yeah. So basically once a month we'll bring you forward. So I think we have some other people in the Discord as well, and they will chat and talk as they wish, because this is going to be kind of a chill stream. So I'm going to click start on Warhammer 40K. Co-op once a job is started. So we will start with the Land Raider, the Forge Temple, Ring of Iron, Mars.
Mark, okay. There is no music playing on Twitch.
There's no music playing on Twitch. Is there music now?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently, basically, I could see it somewhat moving, but it wasn't moving enough. All right. So, those who are not familiar with Warhammer 40K and its other sibling Warhammer Fantasy, are two games by Games Workshop, a large and old, basically I would say they're slightly younger than D&D, but not by much. And given that they've been owned by the same company, they have a slightly more continuous history than Dungeons and Dragons has. But they started as a purely miniatures game, and that is what they are mostly known for. However, they have released several different RPGs. Warhammer Fantasy is well known for having its the kind of the flip side of D&D's. Everything is light and great, and you start off as bold and powerful heroes. You tend to start off Warhammer Fantasy as being, well, farmers and rat catchers and kind of street cleaners, and then you eventually become heroes if you don't die horribly, which does also happen a lot. Warhammer 40K didn't have a role-playing game up until more recently, where it got a role-playing side of it. A series of games from that was Fantasy Flight, I believe, released Rogue Trader. There's been a couple different versions of that. So it does cross over. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and start this. We can talk more once we get in. All right.
Yes, the first mission is figuring out how to get me in there.
I allowing another player to join you and assist your career. Join. Waiting for assistant. Invite friend. I push the invite friend button. Steam, do something about it. There we go. I have sent invite to friend. It is good. Good to have friends. Has friends gotten invite?
It says you've accepted an invitation to play PowerWash
There we are.
Simulator.
Assistant Tony Troxel has arrived.
Ah,
There you are. Greetings. Not up and down.
yes, control.
Whee! And a very floaty jump.
Yes. And we have a ladder, we have a step stool,
And
we have scaffolding, and we got a really, really dirty tank.
I'm assuming that this is a. I'm assuming that this is our step stool. Subdivision of the vehicle. The subdivision of the vehicle connected and set to your optic systems. Oh, there we go. Revealing the famous Space Marine logo. I believe that is. Oh, I'm terrible. This is where we need Wolf Mom in here. They're much better at identifying Space Marine orders. That might be Ultramarine? Analysis of Dryas may provide vital data on capabilities. It looks like you ran over some people here. Probably orcs.
Yeah, all that green, I'm thinking it's orcs.
Let me know if the audio capture is a little too loud on the game. Turn that down.
Yeah, I know. I had to go. I went into settings to get
I
mine
can
to shut
turn
up.
it down in my ears, actually. Okay.
It's
Now I
not
should be
too
able to-
loud for stream.
Okay. Now I should be able to hear Tony.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. The wonderful
Good.
things about these headphones is the fact that they do have the ability to balance between two different sources. As long as I remember to assign Discord and the game to two different sources, I can balance between them without having to play with the game balance. Anything about power watching is to play power watching your friend. I mean, in real life, yes, that is.
Okay,
But
that
in
was
this
amusing
game, you
for
can
2
do whatever
seconds.
you want. You can also press tab to highlight dirt, which just gives you a whole lot of yellow.
It's even in the treads.
They may have just run over people. So it's in the gears, too.
I told you it was in the gears. You didn't believe me.
Alright, I've got to switch nozzles to get down to a finer degree to get inside those. Inside that gear. I don't know how much they've broken. How much have they broken this? They've broken it down fairly well in terms of what parts are where and things like that. Just haven't actually cleaned anything out officially yet. I mean, I suppose I could always check the. I could check the upper left corner where it tells you what your percentage is on whatever you're working on. That's just outer track armor. So all of this is just one segment.
Yeah, I'm the idiot that chose the treads. This is what we call poor life choices.
You chose a long-term goal that you want to see accomplished. It's going to be very satisfactory when you get it done.
Oh, so Tony, you helped out with your work's Twitch stream. What did you do? I spent an hour and a half on one section of tank tread power washing it. That's what I did.
I power washed the tank, then it obviously ran over a lot of orcs. Well, that's the track. I'll leave the track to you. I'm working on outer track armor. These squelching noises are a thing. I don't know if that's supposed to be part. I haven't played enough base power wash to know if that's just a normal noise or if that is part of
I've killed most of the noises on the game because otherwise I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's why basically I had to adjust it down really low, otherwise I wasn't going to be able to hear you. All right, let's go back to something wider. The Mark II Aqua Sancti Arcubus Turbo Nozzle. That sounds impressive. Like I should be able to use this nozzle to kill Chaos Marines if they show up. Ah!
Got some on you.
My brother, you have been corrupted. I must purify you. Alright. I can stand up. Alright. Well, that's a different set over there. So the outer track armor, that's the track. What all qualifies as the outer track armor? Oh, probably that. What's this? That's assault ramp. That's a different outer track. That's track armor hatch. That's track. That's a gun. Sorry, that's a las cannon. Use my correct terminology. So I did do some reading up on Warhammer 40k because it's been a while since I've looked at it, and I was curious with the interesting things about the lore. It's been a while since I played. I like all gamers at one point decided money wasn't that important and attempted to get into playing Warhammer.
No, I learned my lesson with Magic the Gathering.
You see, I did both. Not at the same time though. I wasn't least smart enough not to do both at the same time. I was either into Magic the Gathering or I was into Warhammer. Chaos is the best of your old school fantasy Warhammer. Yeah, the interesting thing I looked at because I was always like I'm fairly certain like Warhammer 40k is the future of Warhammer, right? I mean that makes sense. What's Warhammer 40k? What's Warhammer Fantasy? The answer is no. That is not completely true. Warhammer Fantasy is its own independent thing. Different from Warhammer 40k. Warhammer 40k is supposed to be the future of our Earth timeline, while Warhammer Fantasy is not the past of our timeline. So it ends up being its own thing, and apparently there's the obvious crossovers where both sides have the same gods of chaos in it, but basically fans disagree whether or not that is just because the gods of chaos are a multi-use universal force, or if it means the fact that the Warhammer universe, the Warhammer Fantasy is just another planet in the Warhammer 40k universe. Apparently, because that is one of the postulates is that there is basically Warhammer Fantasy is just kind of a weirdly independent world that is separate from the rest of it and is happening at the same time as Warhammer 40k. It's just isolated by the warp and therefore isn't affected.
I'm not totally up on the Warhammer cinematic universe, so I don't know.
They're trying. Henry Cavill is desperately trying because Henry Cavill is a big enough nerd that they were able to get him. They were able to get him to agree to essentially lead up because He is 100% a Warhammer, the Warhammer fantasy nerd. So he is leading up the Warhammer for Amazon. Amazon has announced a Warhammer fantasy series, TV show.
Yeah, I think it's a series.
Yeah,
Fallout.
I forgot there was a Fallout show that was coming. It was too busy being vaguely like. I'm not quite sure what to think of the Borderlands show, the movie either. Because the humor in Borderlands
I'm not big on the game, but it looks fun. That's kind of what I require out of a movie these days.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it looks like it'll be. Basically, it looks like it's going to be a different sense of humor from the. Basically from the like slightly different sense of humor from the games, which is a good thing and a bad thing, obviously, since basically if you really like the game and their sense of humor, you're gonna be like, oh man, it's different in here. But if you're basically, but that humor doesn't really, that kind of wacky humor doesn't translate as well to necessarily to a movie. Because it's a whole lot of meta humor about first-person shooters and loot and the games themselves, so there's only so far you can get with that isn't just going to become Deadpool the movie again.
You see, the only thing I really know about Borderlands is that they have cosplayers versus one of the characters on there. They're about as annoying as the Deadpool cosplayers. Come at me, Deadpool cosplayers.
Ooh. Ooh. I don't feel like I've been as annoyed by like Deadpool cosplayers. Basically, the more work they put, it's one of those where it's a lot of times you can tell it's like if you just bought the Zentai suit and basically you just put it on and basically you bought a mask and that's it and you're running around as Deadpool so you could be wacky and annoying to people. Yes, that is 100% just going to be annoying. Like Borderlands cosplayers are going to. Oh, there's a ladder. Ladder? You must be carrying the ladder.
Yes, I've got the ladder.
It's interesting because it shows me all the places you can put a ladder. Just suddenly on PowerWash an area and a ladder outline appears. I'm like, is this thing shooting at me? What's this blue beam on my screen suddenly? There's just a lot of random dirt in here.
Oh.
But I'm really close to finally marking off a section, so I'm going to crouch down and try to get in here.
Oh, hello, you can use the ladder to climb on top.
Yeah. It's just as dirty up there as it is everywhere else.
Did they just completely roll this over orcs?
I mean, the orcs are weird in the fact that like they're plant-based. The orcs in Warhammer 40k are like fungus. So basically them exploding into spores and going everywhere is just kind of, on brand. I'm almost done with this swivel. Only I knew exactly what the swivel was. There we go, I got the last cannon swivel clean. Woo, I accomplished something. Complete your work, Tech Priest. I'm working on it. Oop, whoop. Right, that was a much faster jump than I expected. Let me go get the pulley step stool.
Mark,
Yes?
I would like to point out that your camera frame is cutting off your face.
My face is... Ugh. Let me move slightly. Most actually getting slightly more. Probably these few. Let me move more in frame of the camera. There we go. Hi.
Oh, hey, look! look, it's a full marked face.
It's a full
Looks
me.
great.
It's all of me. Alright, I'm gonna put down this holy stool. Jump on this holy stool. Actually, you know what? There's a convenient ladder nearby. Just climb up that. Wait, yes, they're fungus. Basically, orcs in Warhammer 40k they're plants more than anything else. Which is why they're more of a swarm race than anything else. They're just entirely plant-based.
Yeah, I just know that's what friends of mine play, or orcs. So.
They're also the funny race, because the fact that they really, all they care about is just kind of spreading and going everywhere, and basically they don't really care about chaos versus Imperial or anything like that. They're just like, we're here to explode stuff. They like things going fast, so they paint them red, because red makes things go faster. Makes sense. What more do you need? Anything more than that is just, you know. I have to back up. I need to back up just a bit so I can spray this. Thank you. Whoa. There we go. The targeting surveyor complete. I'm slowly backing out the edge of this. I eventually am just going to fall
nooks
off.
and crannies on this sucker.
Uh-huh. I want to get just in there. Thank you. I want to get that. There's just dirt right there. I want to get rid of it. I want to kill that dirt. That dirt has offended the Emperor. It must be destroyed. Well, okay, I'm all the way down here. Right. Ugh. Alright, like that. Ugh. Climb back up. Oh gosh, it's so filthy up here. I'm just going to continue focusing on my very pretty and very beautifully clean Lascana. So much nicer than everything else on here. I know there's dirt right there, and I just want to clean it. There we go. Just let me clean it. The salt hatch aqua cleaned. Was that you, Brother Tony?
Yeah. Yeah, so far I've been able to get a lot of little insignia, that's about it.
Hey, that's progress. I'm trying to complete the Lascan, and there's just this small last percentage, which I am not quite getting. So I'm desperately trying to find out what qualifies as that section amongst all of this, and then clean it. Oh, I hit a major section of it. I almost have it go completely clean. I'm missing one last section of dirt. Oh wait, now. Maybe I finished one last cannon? Did I finish last? Maybe I finished one of the last cannons, not the other. I think that's what that's trying to tell me. Yes, I finished one of them at one point. And I have the other one I need to clean. Okay, that makes sense. Question is, where does the dirt hide? The dirt may hide, but it cannot remain forever hidden from the Emperor's gaze, etc., etc. Oh, there's some stuff inside the cannon. My gosh. Good.
Oh, this thing has lights.
I don't know why that's got to go strike armor hatch, but sure, we'll count it. Last cannon armor. Evening, Wolf Mom. Good to see you. Alright, you will know, Wolf Mom. Is that Ultramarines insignia? Which insignia? Which Space Marine chapter is that one? Is that Ultramarines?
It says Ultramarines 2 right here on the front. I got it cleaned off.
Ah, well then. There you go. That answers that question. I thought that was Ultramarines. Oh, I got extensions. Clean further. Inner track armor cleans. Nice. The most generic of Space Marine chapters. You're not wrong. The other ones are much more interesting and have much more. There's the last cannon finally. They're more interesting. And by more interesting, and usually that means the fact that they have weirder or more basically more elaborate, basically bizarre issues or problems. Because in the 40k universe, nobody is the good guys in the 40k universe. In case this needs to be said, hey, the Imperium of Man, the fascist dictatorship, not good guys. I know the fact that basically it's weird that basically Warhammer has had to, Game Workshop has had to say that multiple times. But hey, yeah. The explicitly fascist controlling side isn't the good guys. It varies by job. 20. Like, basically, this job is only 2 people. But some of the other larger jobs, I think you can have up to 4, maybe 5.
Actually, I think it said once the job's completed, you can play up to 6.
Oh, okay.
In free play.
That makes sense. The last con SpawnCon, which I always my brain is just misreading as sponsored content. It's Spawn Sun, not SpawnCon, but.
Oh, that's what it's looking familiar. I had a friend that wanted me to print him a bolter.
The bolter is the signature weapon. One of the signature weapons. The Warhammer Space Marines. I've never been entirely clear if they're actually just like converted, like basically like bolt guns, or if they're just called that because they actually just throw. They're just magnetic projectile accelerators. Whatever their works. Yeah. Yep. The orc boys. Not actually boys. Kind of going
Just
over the
the
same
good
stuff.
old boys.
A toll-free call for me. How about now? If it was important, you'll leave a voicemail. I'm busy cleaning up a tank. We're trying to clean up a tank. There's just a little bit left on the spawn set, and I'm trying to figure out where it is. Ooh, speaking of heavy bolter. Where is this last? Oh, that's the sponsor as well. Maybe that's what I'm missing. There we go. That's what I was missing. Okay, I think I've cleaned most of the las cannon. I think the las cannon is clean. Very pretty las cannon. Look upon my works in despair. go ahead and just do a quick sweep on the outside here. We'll come back and grab.
Yes, front wrap is now clean.
Apparently they're called bolters because they throw explosive kinetic rounds, which are called bolts, which is a disappointing explanation. Yeah, that's good. I always picture them more actual bolts or like things like that. Does it make sense that they're explosive rounds, ordnance? Given how they work. It's going to bolts currency for Ratchet and Clank. Nice, nice. I've actually never played a full Ratchet and Clank game. I feel like I need to at some point, amongst all my other things, but...
I don't know, I'm currently very amused by the fact that it's a blue tank with a big white Colts logo on the side.
Yes,
I know it's not a Colts logo.
I have thought that many times about the Ultramarine logo. That is the crossover we're unlikely to get to. Well, I don't know. Maybe the Henry Cavill series will take off and people will basically Space Marine stuff will seep into popular culture, you know?
I mean, you had people painting up stormtroopers like Colts. Colts logos and stuff, so...
Let's see here. Things I found out while doing research into 40k lore, there actually are groups of Chaos Marines who don't actually worship the Chaos Gods. They just really hate the Imperium. And they figured, what the heck? The Imperium of Man is basically so terrible that we're willing to work with literal demons and things like that. They're better than actually working with the Imperium, which, you know, given everything you see about the Imperium, you're not wrong. To augment ritual fervor, a brief account of the Land Raider's recent deployment will be forthcoming. Oh, good, we get to learn how they ran over stuff. I hadn't realized that some of the chaos groups weren't actually all just random demon groups. Most of them are just pretty horrifying groups, which are demons based, which have various different stuffs floating out of them, or made of dust, or otherwise kind of disgusting. Some of them are just people. Horus the Heresy was a charismatic guy. It's the Horus Heresy, which is one guy going, but what if the Empire wasn't absolute garbage? And they set him on fire and then blew stuff up, and then a lot of screaming and other stuff happened. And I keep hitting the wrong button. Actually, you know, I could go whiter with this probably. 1 second. Let's go 40. There we go. So that stuff is just not coming off of the board. Let's get closer. Need more pressure, sir. Got it. He did lead an army of Chaos Marines to try to take terrorists, so someone getting killed over it. Basically, in universe, no. Basically, outside of universe, probably, yes, he was named Horus on purpose because, hey, got a cool name here. Because basically a lot of, in 40,000 years in the future, there's a lot of pop culture references which have managed to survive. There was also a Rainbow Legion. Which basically were from the actual 80s, and they were just rainbow and chromatic. They no longer exist. Their planet got burned out of the archives and things like that. Not for any LGBTQ reasons. They were just rainbow this is back in the 80s, where it was just, no, rainbow, we'll just make them rainbow and holographic, and we'll give them all those colors. And then they decided, meh, what if they got corrupted? They're too happy. They were too happy and nice for 40K universe, so they got given the boot. I was reading someone talking about when they were painting them that they had a planet and it's just marked as like gone or missing or something like that. Now, I'm not aware of any other Egyptian names, but I mean, I'm sure there are some somewhere because actually the ones which are more likely to be Egyptian are I can't remember if the Necrons are actually more Egyptian in theme or not. The vampires in Warhammer Fantasy definitely have Egyptian theming and obelisks and other things. I don't remember if the undead race in sorry, excuse me. The undead race in Warhammer 40K has the same level of Egyptian theming to it. Now I love the fact that this has a tow ring. Like what happens if one of the other tanks gets stuck and you need to tow it out? You need to have a tow ring on your tank, you know?
Please tell me it doesn't have truck nuts.
It does not have truck nuts or orc nuts or any other kind of nuts. They're traditional the Necrons do have pyramids, but they're traditional sci-fi pyramids. Okay. There's another undead race in 40K, if I remember correctly. I can't remember which ones they're basically, I mean, there are all sorts of weird undead ones because obviously when you're dealing with like the gods of death and plague and other things, you're going to have various things where people are dead but are still hanging out. Guessing it's probably underneath. Yep, that's what I thought. Underneath. Inside? There we go. Inside. Okay, that's not actually dirt. It just looks like dirt. I'm like, the bottom of this is really dirty, and why isn't it coming off? Like, oh, it's because it's not actually dirt.
Is it dirt
Tony,
or shadow?
You weren't kidding when you were like, there's just a little bit of dirt somewhere and I can't find it. I thought that was exaggeration.
Oh no!
But
no.
But no.
I played this a little bit last week after I downloaded it, and it's like, dang, I'm going like through an entire backyard looking for one speck of dirt.
Yeah. Some of them are better than others, and some of them are worse than others. Like, some of the ones were like, clean a van or something like that. You're like, okay, there's only so many places and things like that. Hey, finally got the tow ring clean. But you end up with a list like this, where you have so many little tiny bits and parts and things like that that you've got to find and then narrow down. The nice thing is, it does do basically, as you get closer to the end, it gives you more help in terms of, hey, okay, basically you're down to these 5 things. You can actually tell it to highlight what those things are, so you can tell it to be like, hey, you're telling me that there's 4 lampposts which are still dirty. Where are those lampposts? Basically, what do you qualify as lampposts? And it'll actually light those up, and you'll be like, oh, those, okay. I thought you meant these things. I mean, it's kind of, from a game development perspective, it's kind of hilarious, because it's literally, like, the point of this game is literally just move your mouse up and down a lot until you, basically till you clean the invisible dirt off. Basically, clean the dirt off of stuff. You're just smearing a paintbrush all over things in reverse. Headlights clean. Well, thank goodness. We'd hate for this thing not to be able to see where it's going. I'm trying to remember. I think actually, and I'm gonna throw Wolfmom, because Wolfmom is the one I played 40K with back in the day. I think we had a Land Raider, didn't we? Didn't somebody have a Land Raider? The Nurgle like Chaos Forces, but they're technically alive, just living with disease. They're pleasant. You had a Land Raider, right? I did not. That's like I have a vague memory of a Land Raider sitting on a entertainment console.
I don't know. I have somebody that's on my Pokemon Go list in the UK that will occasionally send me a Pokestop that's one of these outside a game store.
It's kind of funny this game. Nobody liked me putting the Land Raider on the table. No, that thing was mean. The Land Raider was mean. It just kind of showed up and just did. Like I think I played the Dark Elf faction, the Dark Eldorati. I was a jerk that fielded as many heavy weapons I could get away with. I don't know if it's per person or if that is total. My guess would be total. Alright, I need to clear this engine vent. Okay, each of these pipes is individual. Alright, I could deal with that. Which I think I could deal with that. There's just one blip of dirt on this engine pipe. There we go. Stop that. That's just being rude. Clean off. When I tell you you're clean, you're clean. The Emperor commands you to be clean. That's some kind of high bombing noise, engine noise. Okay, that's track armor. Right, put this on the rear section here. This engine pipe is still dirty. There.
These pipes are clean.
Clean these pipes off. Hey, I just played straight Eldar? Oh, okay. For some reason I thought I played the Dark Eldar. But yeah, the Eldar who used to be incredibly hedonistic, floating around with YouTube shorts of 40k lore, but people don't seem to be terrible. Yeah, but that is the nice part, basically. Just basically like some of the nice things that we've kind of gotten on YouTube shorts is there's the recent kind of trend of basically now that Warhammer's becoming slightly bigger. So people actually being like, hey, let me explain to you Warhammer 40k lore. But let me do it in a way which isn't just being absolutely creepy about Warhammer 40k.
One thing I've been learning as a father is that the kids are all about lore.
All about what?
Lore.
Okay, thank goodness you said lore.
Lore.
Yes. I thought you said something that started with a V, and I was really concerned.
Lore.
Yes, thank you. Your clarification is
now,
much
of
appreciated.
course, they'll also do stuff like Liz and I'll make some comment, and my kid's like, "Ooh, new dad lore dropping." I'm like, "My child, what?"
Spill the tea about the lore, Dad. what about this? It's probably the top of the bed, which is dirty. Is that ladder still over there? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm taking this ladder. Wow, look at the front section, certainly.
Well, not all of it.
Engine grill. This is where we make the hamburgers. Very important that you clean your grill between uses. Do be careful of wire steel brushes. They do shed and can end up in your meat. You ordered a burrito. Well, you know. I went to a place yesterday that was in downtown Indianapolis called Agave and Rye. One of the reasons why I went there, because there was a friend who was like, basically someone I was talking to was like, oh, hey, we should go try out some place downtown. Found this place that looks interesting. They have some great tacos. I went, oh, okay, cool. Oh, we're getting lore drop. Hang on. Data recording pilot. Mission debrief. On our way to reinforce the fleet Secundus, we were diverted to a stress signal from the planet withheld strategic A instrument to B785.
Are you getting the messages?
Yes.
Is that what you're reading? Okay,
Yep.
because I'm not getting those. So.
Oh, okay. Imperial forces stationed there claimed they had detected the presence of an unrestricted artifact H-class before encoding redacted heretical. Ah. Everyone loves the heretical redacting. The value of a redacted classified item could be of extreme significance. I mean, the Empire is literally the living definition of we can't tell you otherwise then we'd have to kill you. Like, that isn't a joke, Hugh. that is a daily threat of life. They can and will just kill you.
And you know, it is what it is.
You're all bat-grown, so we could just make another one of you. Fuel induction cover. Yeah. I'm going to steal the ladder.
That's okay. I've already found out you can jump off of here and not get any drop damage or anything. So
yes, there is no fall damage. Yeah, there is no fall damage because you have no hit points. Therefore, you have nothing which could you have nothing to take damage with.
It's not that kind of game, kid.
Okay, the fuel induction cover has just something somewhere. Don't know where. Stand up. Wrong button. Wrong button again. Get off the ladder. Got the ladder. Move the ladder. Put the ladder back in the wrong place. Exactly how I planned it. Boom. There. There we go.
I am not 100% certain I'm actually standing on the tank at the moment.
No, you can definitely coyote time yourself. Basically just kind of off the ledge. Which can basically slowly creep your way backwards. I don't think that's actually the correct use for coyote time. Coyote time refers to how much leeway the game gives you before letting gravity take you down. So a lot of games will actually give you a couple of couple of frames of reaction time to you walking off an edge to allow you to actually still make a jump. And a lot of platformers will do that. So it is known as Coyote time for the famous physicist Wile E. Coyote super genius.
If he's such a genius, then why would he let his movie get shelved?
Rude. Rude, rude, rude. Because not even Wile E. Coyote super genius could deal with Dave Zazzle's supervillain. Zazzlin? Whatever his name is. Mr. I can make a profit as long as I don't actually, as long as I can tax write up enough stuff. It's fine. Oh, there's just a little bit left of engine grill.
See, at least, who was it? You, Bull, that would do the movies that weren't great because if they lost money, they'd get the tax cuts on them?
It was a loophole in German law that allowed him to still make money as long as he produced a movie in part in Germany, no matter how terrible it was and whether or not it made money or not. He personally and his investors would still make money. He, however, even though despite the fact that he was obviously doing that, and everybody knew he was doing that, still took offense to people calling his movies bad. Leading him to
Threatened to box you for it.
Leading him to actually box several critics of his, including I think the Something Awful founder. I think was one of them. Yep, Mr. Lotax. Where do you want me to clean this grill? You're telling me there's just a little bit left on these grills, and I don't know what you mean. Where is this last bit of dirt? There, maybe? That's probably it.
Come out, wherever you are.
That was, in fact, not it. Check all your angles. Inside there. That. There we go. Basically, it is also fairly generous with what is actually a complete section. Basically, as long as you're once you get within reasonably close, it usually just gives it to you. I think that takes care of most of the back. No, there's still something on the engine armor. Rear armor? Really? Really rear armor? There are like 3 sections which are almost complete, which are all just right in the same area. Give me the turbo nozzle. Turbo nozzle is good for getting some kind of random motion, which means you can sometimes get to those cracks a little better. Is this Wansky movement? Yes. Did they film Blind Line for Outer Space in Germany? No, that was before that time period, and that is a creator of a different sort. That is the infamous director. I've forgotten his name.
Ed Wood.
Ed Wood, yes. Who? It would have been.
You did say Plan 9, right?
Yes, it is Plan 9.
Because remember, I can't see the chat, so.
Yes. Ed Wood, Plan 9. Several of us in Cupola Green, front armor plate. Where is this last one? Basically, he has several movies which are very interesting.
Glenn and Glenda.
Glenn and Glenda was the one I was thinking of, which is very definitely a movie that would not have would have a different kind of approach during today's time period, shall we say? Trying to think what other movies he did. I used to. This guy, I had a friend who had the Ed Wood box set, which was covered in Agora.
I've just seen the Johnny Depp film.
Yeah. I've actually never seen the actual the Johnny Depp movie. And I'm
I had
sure.
an ex that worshipped the ground Tim Burton walked on, so you know,
Yeah. I forgot that was a Tim Burton. A Tim Burton Johnny Depp joint. Shocking. Those two never make movies together. So rare. That's outer track. I want to focus in on one particular area at a time. If I go too scattershot, I'm going to be here going crazy, going, why can't I make progress? So the track is just a whole lot of cleaning out minute sections, isn't it?
yeah, it's the track is a thing.
That working or not? I can't tell. I don't feel like that's actually working. Get those. Ooh, the filtration system is good. Good job. We can now breathe easier. Okay. It is very generous
Whoa!
on the
Congratulations.
track. It's very generous on the track. Like, there was still a lot of dirt in between things, and it's like, no, that's close enough. I'm like, thank you.
Bless your heart, you tried.
You were trying. Okay, engine armor. This is going to be a little bit messier as it's hiding something from me. There's some part of this engine armor I'm missing. There's part of it. I feel like I'm just dinking away and I'm missing a... Usually when there's just that much of it left, rear armor is also just right there. Rear armor, inner track armor, and engine armor. What are those at percentage-wise? Now I want to... Engine armor is at 96%. Inner track armor at 93. And rear armor at 99. Good morning. Ugh. Alright, let's get up on the ladder and see if we can. Let's get a new perspective on things. I am just barely on this ladder. Okay. The magneting is strong with this one. Got it. Alright. Climb. Food arriving. Woo. Yes. Going on top is a great idea. Aha! There we go. Alright, let's write a different nozzle. Let's move it up and we can actually get to a lot of spray. There we go. Engine armor clean. Yay! Alright, now rear armor is... Hi!
How you doing?
I'm just springing around, bouncing all over the place. Outer track armor is that. Okay, there's the inner track armor on that side. Take care of that for you. There we go. Rear armor sigil. Rear armor. I think that takes care of most of that over here. Oh wait, no. Oh, the other side of the engine armor still needs to be done. Fine. Fine. Nope, what? What? How did that work? Game. How did that teleport work? There we go, and that's the other engine armor. Thank goodness. Messy, 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 messy. There's something else that Wolf Mom might also know. Wolf Mom, basically, I know that there's the Fantasy Flight Rogue Trader game. And there have been multiple Warhammer Fantasy games. Has there been any other Warhammer 40k RPG outside of the Fantasy Flight ones? TTRPG. I could not remember there being... Like, I feel like there was at least one more. Cubicle 7 owns them now. Right, right. I was trying to think if there was one that was before Rogue Trader Fantasy Flight. Because I know basically, like, you had Warhammer Fantasy, which was one of the first systems to have. Rogue Trader, Dark Heresy, Only War. Is it actually called Only War for the Space Marine? That's hilarious. Smoke Launcher. So all of this is outer track armor, huh? That's outer track armor on the other side. That's not I just walked around to the other side. The only war is the Imperial Guard. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Those are Space Marine chapters. Death Watch, that's right, Death Watch. Death Watch was their
Did you say
Space
Death
Marine.
Watch?
What?
What did you say? Death Watch?
Yes, Death Watch.
I thought that was a Mandalorian group.
Ah. No, there is a Death Watch is a special chapter. It's essentially the Suicide Squad of Space Marine chapters, if I remember correctly.
So they have Harley Quinn.
I mean, someone has probably made a Sisters of Battle Death Watch member who is Harley Quinn themed. All Space Marine chapters are Suicide Squad, to be honest. Yeah, survivability is not the strong suit of these Space Marines. You are correct. But I thought Death Watch was like that, but even more so. Like it wasn't an honor to get sent to Death Watch, from what I remember. Cubicle 7 has released 2 new ones, Wrath and Glory and Imperial Maledictum. Fine. You're more likely to get killed at Death Watch. your odds go up from 90% to 95. It's a whole 5% increase. And of course, getting killed is by no means the worst fate. You could be stuck in a void, captured by Necrons, captured by Tau, captured by... I guess the Tau are the closest you get to good guys in Warhammer 40k. For everything I've seen, I think the Tau are the closest to good guys. Tyranid and Gene Stealers, ew. Yeah. Gene Stealers. Yes, we saw Alien 2. Tyranid. Yes, we have played StarCraft. Why do you ask? Actually, I'm curious. Which one came first, Tyranids or Zerg? Because I feel like Tyranid were a more recent addition to Warhammer 40k, as opposed to... Like, Gene Stealers have been around forever. I mean, that's Space Hulk, which... Space Hulk is the... Space Hulk is the Warhammer 40k board game, computer game that most people are familiar with. Older
I
fans
remember
are
seeing
familiar.
ads for that in comic books.
Yep. It was their first kind of foray into trying to make Warhammer 40k more accessible. Tyranids came first. Okay. I'm shocked to find out that Blizzard Band stole something. I mean, StarCraft feels like it might be. StarCraft does have that feeling of we were trying to be a Warhammer 40k, but we didn't get the rights to it. The Tau, I'm fairly certain, came after Protoss. That one I'm fairly certain of. Because Tau are definitely a more modern addition. Hence, they're actually good guys. I have just a little bit left on this tracker. Where is it? That's out of track. That's there we go. Tracker. Okay, there's a lot on the upper side of this. Yeah, Space Hulk, for those who are not familiar, is essentially the plot of the movie Alien. It is basically ships sometimes, basically in Warhammer 40k, the long distance transportation is done via the problem with the Tau is that it's usually just we're trying to create a goodwill and they'll figure out how to mentally make it outside and enjoy it anyway. Again, good for limited values. And it's by comparison to the rest of the universe, they're great. I mean, the elves were so hedonistic that they actually caused one of the chaos gods to come into being, so, oops. You know how it is.
Good going, elves.
Yeah. Where is the rest of the Eldar can summon an avatar of their god, can still summon an avatar of their god of murder, so there's that. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I think I read somewhere that that one of the new factions of elves is trying to summon a new god, is to try to create a new god of death to unify the factions. Which I don't know how that works, but sounds like badly for everyone involved. No, it's fine. We'll just summon one of these elemental gods of something, and sure, it won't go bad. Ooh. top armor clear. Nice job. I'm trying to get the rest of the left side clear. And there's just a little bit of dirt on this outer track armor left. Actually, I wonder if it's on top. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm stuck on this hunter-killer missile.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Stuck on the missile with you.
Ugh. Outer track armor clear. Yay! Alright, that is everything for this side. Now I get to go to the front. Oh boy, that's ugly. That's clear, that's clear. Now let's start working on... Wow, that was a nice, easy walk-up. Just get... Thanks, Tony, for that easy win.
What was that? What? Where?
I just walked up and just cleaned something for like sprayed it for like under a second and it went bing, and I'm like, oh, that was nice. That felt good. That's a nice easy win.
I was gonna say, was this one of the things where I just said, forget this and moved on?
I think it probably was. It's by the track. But would not surprise me if you had just gone down. We're done.
I'm done with this. I do not want to spend this entire stream working on one spot and not feel like I've done anything. Let's clean some logos instead.
Logos are nice and easy. They give you quick wins. Great. Alright. Oh. Data recording pilot arriving on withheld choosing us with B785. We found ourselves overrun by redacted heretical. Given the stuff I'm guessing is orcs, I didn't realize the orcs were heretical. However, we were just close enough to detect the presence of restricted artifact H-class. Fortunately, those before us were wise enough to encase it within a restricted technology X402. The Emperor is definitely not heretical. Asking what isn't heretical is heretical, however. Sad to say. It was clear we must return in greater numbers before the restricted article H-class says damage or loss to the redacted heretical. It's a lot like the Supreme Court, you know? Basically, I may not know what heresy is, but I'll know it when I see it. And it's whatever I don't like, usually.
So I guess it's now acceptable to go to the Supreme Court and say, sir, this is a Wendy's.
Probably. Yay, clean the hatch.
It's only acceptable if you use the meme correctly.
Those steps. Dude, I'm trying to remember what basically like all the factions in 40k. There's the Space Marines, who are technically on the same side as the Imperium, but are different armies for reasons. Chaos Marines, who are essentially their evil opposites. The Eldar and the Dark Eldar. The Tau, who are essentially the Protoss. The Tyranids, who are essentially Zerg, basically the Proto-Zerg. The Sisters of Battle and Imperial Guard are all known as. I thought the Sisters of Battle were a branch of the Space Marines. I was wrong.
Now, are we talking Zurg and the Codon Armada, or are we talking about Zurg and Buzz Lightyear?
That was so weird that they were called Zurg and Buzz Lightyear. StarCraft Zurg. The Necron.
Oh, so not Last Starfighter Zurg.
Yep. Oh, Zurg. Oh, that's Starfighter. Wow. They're anti-Empire. They're just a rebellion. If they were in Star Wars, they'd be the Jedi. Like, maybe some of them. There is that still, a lot of them willingly work with or sign with, you know, demons and chaos gods who want nothing more than to see the destruction of the entire universe, melted down to its requisite parts. You know, the Jedi and the Rebellion are not the same faction, technically correct. Mostly because of the fact that by the time that you have the Rebellion, you don't really have the Jedi anymore. And by the time you have the Jedi back, you don't have the Rebellion anymore. Oh, there's a big scaffolding thing. Just pick this thing up. Good. I have moved the large scaffolding piece. Pray I do not move it any further.
You moved it after I already got most of those.
Well, I haven't gotten the truck rubber hatch mostly done. I'm just trying to get the last bit of it. There we go. I will leave you to the las gun. Have fun. I'll grab the front of it since it's like just right here. Go for the I didn't even look to see if they gave us soap or anything like that. You really don't. Like, the soap kind of helps, but it just feels more satisfying to do it without the soap. Oh, that's part of the track, huh? That's rude. Okay, the track should be done by now. Really? Let's see what else. There are jobs which stuff makes a difference. You basically, yeah, there's some layers of grime that basically having this soap means you don't have to sit there in the power washer for a while, sitting on it. I'm trying to think about other factions. There are the weird factions in Warhammer 40k which have kind of come and gone, which is there was a dwarf faction, which I think is no longer around anymore. I think they're gone now. I don't know, maybe they came back. There's the halfling rattling. Which I read somewhere saying that the halflings were the ratlings, which is a weird way of looking at it. I don't know if that means that the halflings ended up getting eaten by chaos and turned into ratlings. Which wouldn't surprise me. I am clean, brother. How dare you suggest that I am impure? Need to be cleaned. Correct. It's great. They're just referred to halfling. They just referred to halflings as rattling for unknown reasons. Okay. The dwarves. I think that correct was because the dwarves are in fact gone now. Okay, they got subsumed. I think you can get rattling sniper units in Imperial Guard for a while. Weird. Because why not? Outer track armor clean. Okay, now I will attempt the impossible and get the other track clean. Alright, let's go here with this. I think they brought back dwarf minis for 40k a bit in the last few years, but maybe this stuff thing there. Like, yeah, I thought I had a brief memory of them saying something about, like, dwarves are back. Yeah, hey, Trek clean. Hallelujah. Inner track armor still has a little bit there. Good. Let me up. I don't want to have to go get a ladder. Let me jump. Where is this inner track armor bridge? Oop. I'm stuck. No. I am now a part of the tank. Leave me behind.
Really throwing yourself into the work, huh?
Yeah. I am. Given this organization's history of just ripping people's brains out of their bodies and shoving them into machines, it isn't out of the realm of possibility. What other factions are there? Are there any other factions? I'm trying to think if I missed any factions. I think that gets all of them. There we go. Right there, huh? Really? Okay. What do we have left? Look at all those things that are clean. That's the las cannon. The Ultramarines 2 plaque is currently 95% clean. How dare. How dare. How is this still dirty? Ow. Top? Oh, it's the bottom edge. Ugh. Check. There we go. Alright, that leaves us just the las cannon left. That's the last thing we have to clean. We can do it. Almost there.
I'm surprised they haven't dropped off the dang thing yet.
Yeah, I mean, we have like 5, and I think 4 is when they start dropping the task list. I keep wishing I found a way to play 40k on Fantasy Online. Not that I don't like the minis hobby, but it's flipping expensive. Yeah, I always get the feeling that that's why you can't play it online, is because Games Workshop is desperately hoping to hold on to that minis market for as long as they can. And so, you know, that was one of the jokes I did see about the Warhammer 40k TV series is they've already blown half their budgets on just buying minis for the cast and crew to play. Which They're not wrong. There we go. Now we have a to-do list. 2 las cannons, the armor, and the swords. $60 a squad unit is too much. Oof. Yeah, 3D printing has definitely changed some of that market. Like, you could always, like, sub or amnesty, much like with Magic the Gathering. If you're playing at home, you can just print proxies. No one can stop you. As long as you have the rule books and you know how to play, you can just play. I did see somebody actually, speaking of Magic the Gathering proxies, someone actually hooked up a thermal printer. Basically, it was a little tiny box thermal printer, hooked it up to a Raspberry Pi, logged it into one of the Magic the Gathering databases, and just had it that you could just go through and select and print Xerox circuit layer. You could just on the spot print out any card. It's using the thermal printer, just select it and just be like, I want this card, and just print it out the nice quick black and white copy of it. You stick it in the card sleeve and you're good to go. Hey, last cannon clean. Woo, no last cannon saving. This is the last cannon armor left. Yeah. Where are you, Dirt? Oh, there it is. Inside the shield.
Yeah, I don't think I can get a good.
Yeah, I've got the angle on it here. Missing just that one chunk of it there. Got that. Really need to switch to a smaller model. Whee. Where's the last of it? So underneath here. It's 99%. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the large patch of it. Ugh. Job complete. Let's escape to do it. Then you get to watch. You get to actually watch a cool montage of you actually cleaning it all off. A time lapse. You can see all your jumping around and cleaning, and there we go. The iron once forged becomes the sword. All right, what time is it? 6:35.
It is. That was almost the perfect length.
Yep.
If we'd started on time, it would have been perfect.
Yep. You got $218. Hey, we got paid. Getting paid in Warhammer 40K is an amazing idea. Normally, you get patted on your back and told, "Good job. We're not going to kill you today." We also didn't use any of the soap. It's fine. In any case, so basically, thank you, Tony, for hopping in. Basically, joining the fun.
Has to happen every once in a while, I guess.
Yep. So we are we are LoreLink. We specialize in RPGs, TTRPGs in particular. So occasionally when we're goofing off and doing things on Twitch, we play games which are at least tangentially related to TTRPGs. But basically, our primary business and our primary goal is showing off our software LoreLink, which is a online campaign management tool. What it allows you to do is it allows you to take, sometimes you have a big world, like for example in a Warhammer 40k, you're going to have lots of different planets, lots of different groups, and other things which are going back and forth. And LoreLink allows you to take all of that and gather it all in one place, link it all together so you know which faction is at war with which faction owns which planet, etc., etc. Let you organize all that, get that all into one place, so when you're playing the game, you're not having to flip. Basically, you've spent all this time writing this stuff, coming up with this stuff, basically coming up with what planets you want to use and things like that, rather than having to open a book, flip through stuff, flip through your notebooks, basically, or your different Google Docs or Google spreadsheets, puts it all into one place, and lets you quickly jump between them, basically meaning the fact that you can spend more time doing what you actually want to do at the table, which is actually play the game. So that is what we're trying to do here. So we had a successful Kickstarter last year. We're currently in early access. If that is interesting to you, follow it. You can find out more information in any number of numerous ways. Obviously, if you enjoy watching videos of us either playing games or what you want to see us using the system, or want to see us playing games using LoreLink, follow us here on Twitch or subscribe to us here on Twitch. And basically that is one way that you can get more information, get updates, send us a signal that, hey, I enjoy the content you're producing. So all of those are great ways of basically you can support us through Twitch. We do future streams. We stream here usually every Tuesday night, starting around 5, going to around 6:30. We have longer streams. We will have a longer stream next month. I believe, and I'm going basically this
The
is where
15th.
The 15th. Thank you, social media person who actually basically kept track of that. On the 15th, we will have a longer stream where we actually play through one of the games that we'll be planning out here on stream. We did a brief look at it earlier in February, and we'll be coming back to it in March. And that is Hardwired Island. So I'm going to be putting together a short little game that the players are going to play through on March 15th. So if that's interesting to you, go ahead and again follow here like that. If you want to catch that stream I did of Hardwired Island and see how I planned through and talked about basically a cyberpunk-esque game, check us out on YouTube. That video is up there and available to be watched. If you're like, hey, you know what, basically I want to catch up with you on social media because, this social media guy sounds like a cool guy. You can follow us on he's actually a really nice guy. You can follow him on Blue Sky, which is his preferred platform for LoreLink, because we don't talk about the site that used to be our primary site anymore. We are also on Facebook and eventually on Instagram. We're working on that slowly. Meta is a weird place, just like everything else. So you can catch us on there, follow that. If you're like, you know what, I don't want to avoid, I prefer to avoid social media. Can you just send me a piece of information which summarizes everything you're talking about here in a monthly, maybe format? Congrats. We have that for you. It's called a newsletter. Those come once a month. Maybe, basically, we promise not to flood your inbox with tons of little emails and things like that over everything. Basically, it's once a month. Occasionally, if we're doing something huge, like, let's say early access or a Kickstarter or something like that, we might send you 2. I don't know if we've ever reached 3. I think we hit 3 once in 1 month. I think that's
Kickstarter. Because we had very beginning of the month, and then we had the normal, and then we had one the last day of the month.
Yeah, so basically, don't worry, we're not going to flood your inbox, but that is a condensed way of getting that information to you, and a good way of keeping track of that. You can go to that Get Started link, and basically you can sign up for the newsletter there. All of that to say, basically there's lots of different ways you can follow us, lots of different ways you can get us feedback, and that's lots of different ways that we communicate with you. So thanks for hanging out, thanks for watching, whether you're watching here on Twitch or catching this later on YouTube. Thanks everyone, and have a good night.